Hello students, I am Professor S. Bhendigeri, Department of Economics, taking online classes for PUC second year commerce students. Dear students, before going to start today's online class, you have to have two important instructions. The first instruction is keep regular watching of videos to know the flow of the subject. To understand the flow of the subject, keep regular watching of videos. Second instruction is immediately after watching these videos, online classes, take the snapshot of each slides and make it as your study material for coming examinations. We have prepared these slides in connection with online classes as well as the study material for your examination point of view. And there is no separate e-content, e-notes will be given to you students. You make it as your own study material immediately after watching these videos. With this, now coming to the today's online class, that is Reserve Bank of India. Dear students, Reserve Bank of India topic is important not even for a subject of economics in the commerce field. It is not important for only commerce students, those who are opted economic subject. It is equally important for all students of all streams. If the medical student is there, if the science student is there, if the art student is there, for every student, this particular topic is very important to understand because of their personal financial matters. They have to have knowledge about this particular topic. Look at the slide. Reserve Bank of India. The name, the title itself tells you what is the role of the bank. What is the role of this particular bank in India? Okay. Coming to the introduction part of the RBI. RBI is at the heart of our banking system. The entire banking system, all banks and financial institutions of the entire country are shouldered by Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India is taking care of all these banks and financial institutions. Being the central bank, it occupies the central position in the Indian money market. Indian money market is a place where currencies of different countries are sold and bought for the short term. Okay. So that process of money market is also taken care by the central bank. Okay. Without the permission of central bank or else Reserve Bank, there is no, for example, possibility of continuing the money market activities in the economy. Okay. Central bank is nothing but Reserve Bank. Both are one and the same. Originally, this bank was constituted as a shareholders bank. Originally means before 1935, this Reserve Bank of India was renamed as shareholders bank. Okay, what was the share capital in the beginning of this particular bank? The initial share capital of RBI was rupees 5 crore of 5 lakh shares of 100 rupees each. There were 5 lakh shares. The price of each share was rupees 100. So 5 crore rupees was the initial capital of Reserve Bank of India before 1935, and it was called as shareholders bank. Okay. It is an apex institution which was started on 1st April 1935. Okay. It was started in the sense it has came under the control of government, for example. by 1st April 1935. So RBI established on 1st April 1935. They may ask in the examination for 1 mark, when did RBI established? For that, you have to write 1st April 1935. They may ask in the multiple choice questions also. Okay, by giving different options. The right option for establishment of RBI was 1st April 1935. And it was nationalized on January 1st, Jan 1st, 1949. And renamed as RBI, means Reserve Bank of India, and transferred to public ownership. Public ownership in the sense government. Public ownership is nothing but government. Okay. Presently, the headquarters of Reserve Bank of India is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. It means what? Each country has its own central bank or its reserve bank. Likewise, India is also having its reserve bank. The head office of RBI is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. And look at that particular sentence. After that headquarters, the present governor of RBI is Sri Shaktikant Das. These things you have to understand, my dear students. Here, the important words, sentences are 1st April 1935, that is establishment of RBI, year of establishment of RBI, Jan 1st, 1949, year of nationalization of RBI. Okay. And they may ask one more objective question in the examination. Where is the headquarters of RBI? For that you have to write Mumbai. If you written Mumbai, that is enough for that. No need to write Maharashtra. Okay. Mumbai is enough for that particular question. And this is also a very much important question. They may ask who is the present governor of Reserve Bank of India. The name of the governor is always written on each currencies. The present governor of RBI is Sri Shaktikant Das. Okay. These are some highlights in that particular introduction part of Reserve Bank of India. Okay. Coming to the administration, how RBI process is running, for example. RBI is managed by Board of Directors. Okay. We may have Board of Directors in an educational institution, or else in industrial sector, okay, or else in different trade and commerce activities. Likewise, we also have the Board of Directors in case of RBI administration. Okay, this board consists of 20 members. That Board of Directors list consists of 20 members. Out of those 20 members, one is governor, 4 are deputy governors. Okay, a governor, 4 deputy governors, 4 directors nominated by each of the local boards. Okay, and 10 directors from the various field and 1 government official from the Ministry of Finance. Okay, 1 is governor, 4 are deputy governors who is supporting to the governor, and 4 directors are nominated by each of the local bodies. Each of the local bodies means there are 4 branches of RBI. From each branch, 1 director is nominated. And in addition to that, 10 directors from the various field and 1 government official. Various field means those who are expert in a particular field. They are also comes in the list of Board of Directors. And 1, for example, director is appointed by government, who is called as government official from the Ministry of Finance. RBI has 4 branches at Mumbai, Kolkata, Madras and New Delhi. These are the 4 branches in 4 metropolitan cities of the country. Okay, and works as good as Reserve Bank of India. Okay, this is all about the administration of Reserve Bank of India. Now coming to the most important aspect of this particular topic and the most important question for 6 marks or else 4 marks in the examination, they may ask functions of Reserve Bank of India. Very interesting, very important and contingent question. Okay, functions of Reserve Bank of India. It, for example, acts in a different way, in a different place, for example. Especially RBI act as a bank of issue. It means what? Reserve Bank of India is printing new currencies, issuing new currencies whenever required on certain conditions. It issues it printing new currencies on certain conditions. I'll tell you how the printing of currency process is going on in this particular bank. Okay, especially RBI prints new currencies on certain conditions. I said conditions in the sense to print a single currency, it needs to have some amount of reserve in Reserve Bank of India. Okay. Earlier, there was a gold which is kept as reserve for each currency which is in the exchange. But now it has been changed. RBI should maintain minimum of 200 crore rupees with it, for example, for the entire currency exchanges in the market, in the country, for example. Okay. Out of it, 200 crore rupees, 115 crore rupees gold and 85 crore rupees securities, for example. Okay. So, 200 crore rupees is to be maintained with RBI for the entire currency exchanges in the country, for example. Okay. So, RBI issues currencies of all denominations, I said. Okay. All denomination means 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 500 rupees and 2000 rupees. These all types of currency denominations are printed and issued by Reserve Bank of India. But one thing you have to understand over here, the 1 rupee coin is not minted by RBI. These 1 rupee coins are minted by Ministry of Finance, Government of India. Government of India is minting rupee coins and RBI is printing all types of currency denominations. Okay, this is about the first function of the RBI, that is bank of issue. Coming to the second one, that is banker to the government. In addition to issue of bank, for example, currencies, RBI is also acting as a banker to the government. It's a bank of government. Government need to have its own bank. So that is RBI. RBI is acting as a bank of government. Under the section 20, 21 and 22A of the RBI Act, Reserve Bank of India acts as an agent, advisor and a banker to the government. RBI is acting as a agent of government, advisor of government, banker to the government, for example. It means what? State and central government financial activities are controlled and supervised by RBI. Okay. And both state and central governments maintain their accounts with RBI. This is most important. Each state of the country and central government must have their accounts with RBI. Okay. For their day-to-day transactions, to get an advisor, to have an, for example, idea to know the banking activities, to know the norms and conditions, instructions of the banks, each state and central government must have their own accounts with RBI. It accepts money, makes payments, and also arranges the remittances on behalf of the government. Listen to me carefully. In the place of government, it accepts money from public or else money from all the streams and makes payments. On behalf of government, RBI makes payments. Whatever government payments are there, no, that can be done with the help of RBI, and also arranges the remittance facility. Remittance means transferring money from one place to another. If government wants to transfer money from one state to another state, one country to another country, that work is done by Reserve Bank of India. Okay, I hope you understood. RBI also acts as an agent of the government in respect of this membership to various international monetary institutions. Whatever, for example, activities are there, whatever processes are there, whatever commitments are there with international monetary institutions like IMF, IBRD, or else World Bank, those activities can be taken care by the Reserve Bank of India on behalf of government. I hope you understood. Now coming to the third important function of RBI, that is controller of credit. The credit which is given to the banks by RBI, that is controlled by Reserve Bank of India, and the amount of credit which is provided to the public by different banks and financial institutions, that is also controlled by Reserve Bank of India. The entire process of credit facilities, credit system is controlled by Reserve Bank of India. RBI controls the credits made by the entire banking system through formulation and execution of the monetary policy. Reserve Bank of India controls this credit system, this credit facilities with the help of monetary policy. Monetary policy includes the bank controls the volume and direction of credit by using both quantitative and qualitative measures. So here what happened? Monetary policy includes quantitative and qualitative measures. The quantitative measures are bank rate policy, open market operations, and cash reserve ratio. It is also called as variable reserve ratio, VRR or else CRR. And the qualitative measures on the other hand includes selective credit control and purpose of credit. I am not going in detail over here about this particular point. I'll explain this particular part in the coming online video classes, because you have one more important topic in connection with this particular aspect. Okay, I'll brief this particular point over here. The quantitative measures are, I said, bank rate policy. Bank rate policy means it is the rate at which RBI imposes, for example, to the commercial banks while advancing loans, for example. When the Reserve Bank of India is advancing loans to commercial banks need to pay a certain amount of interest. That interest rate is called as bank rate. Second one, open market operations. Open market operations is an operation where the selling and buying of government securities takes place. Okay. When the government securities are selling and buying, that operation is called as open market operations. Okay. Here, if the supply of money in the hands of individuals increases, Reserve Bank of India starts selling these securities in the market. If the supply of money in the hands of individual like you and me is less, RBI starts purchasing these securities in the market. It means what? To maintain balance in the money supply in the hands of you and me, RBI operates this particular instrument to bring balance in credit system. And cash reserve ratio, it is very interesting. Cash reserve ratio is also known as variable reserve ratio. Cash reserve ratio is one aspect. Each bank, I said in the beginning, must have their own accounts with RBI. When they are having their own accounts with RBI, they have to follow the norms and instructions of Reserve Bank of India. Okay, cash reserve ratio in the sense, each bank must maintain some amount of cash reserve with RBI. All types of banks and institutions, including commercial banks, they have to maintain some amount of money with RBI as reserve. Okay, take for example, if commercial banks are borrowing 1 lakh rupees loan from Reserve Bank of India, the entire 1 lakh rupees loan is not immediately sanctioned to commercial banks from RBI. Out of 1 lakh rupees, only 70,000 rupees will be sanctioned and remaining 30,000 will be kept as a reserve. I hope you understood. By this process, the credit creation capacity of the banks, what happens, go on changes. If the CRR ratio is 30%, each bank should maintain 30% of their deposits or 30% of their loans they have to maintain with RBI. If it is increasing, if the supply of money in the hands of individual increased, automatically Reserve Bank of India is increasing the ratio of cash reserves. If it is 30% earlier, due to increase in the supply of money in the hands of individual, RBI may increase this ratio from 30% to 40% or else 50%. As a reserve ratio goes on increases, the credit facility, the credit power with commercial banks and other banks will be what happens? Reducing. Okay, so because of that, cash reserve ratio on the other hand is also very much important measure, that is quantitative measure to control the credit of different banks and institutions. Coming to the qualitative measures. Qualitative measures means RBI always instructing to banks and institutions to provide loans on purpose basis or else the selective basis. Suppose for example, if 10 banks are expecting loans from RBI, okay, if 10 banks are applying for the loans from RBI, out of that 10 banks, how many banks are required loan actually? What is the actual requirement of that particular loan of each bank? RBI should understand. When RBI is understanding the purpose of the loan and the productivity of the loan, only for those banks RBI is providing the credits. Unnecessarily, RBI never provide loans to all banks and financial institutions. It goes with purpose and selection. That is called as qualitative measures of controlling credit. Now coming to the next important function of RBI, that is custodian of foreign exchange reserves. The RBI acts as a custodian of forex reserves. It maintains the external value of the rupee and exercise the strict control over foreign receipts and payments as per the norms of IMF. Okay. So, Foreign exchange reserves in the sense RBI act as a custodian of foreign exchange reserves. It maintains external values. As I said in the beginning, the currency appreciation and currency depreciation are the two important devices, financial devices, to bring balance in foreign exchange. Okay. If there are less foreign currencies, less foreign exchange, for example, government RBI start depreciating its value of the currency. If there are more currencies, RBI starts appreciating its currency in the foreign market, for example. With the help of that, RBI is acting as a custodian of foreign exchange reserves. Okay. Now coming to the next important function of RBI, that is promotional functions. Okay. Promotional functions means in addition to these regular functions, there are some facilitating functions. These facilitating functions are like this. RBI discharge the functions like promotion of banking habits among people, expansion of banking facilities, and establishment of new specialized agencies. RBI discharges its duty on promotion of banking habits. How to increase the banking habits amongst the people? When the banking habits are increasing, when RBI is establishing or expanding its branches of commercial banks or else different banks near to the customers, then there is a possibility of increase in the banking habits. Okay, and banking facilities to everyone. Each customer should have the banking facilities near to their place, for example. Okay. Coming to the next one, bankers bank, for example. RBI is also acting as a bankers bank. Okay. To develop agriculture, industry, trade and commerce, and development of the adequate and sound banking system, RBI has the sweeping power to control and supervise all commercial and cooperative banks in India, and each bank must have its account with RBI. Bankers bank in the sense RBI is acting as a bank of all banks. RBI is a bank of all the banks. Okay. For what? To develop agriculture, industry and tertiary sector, always trade and commerce, and to develop adequate sound banking system. RBI is having the sweeping power to control the commercial banks and cooperative banks in India. Okay. And to have this particular control, each bank must have their accounts with RBI. Coming to the last function, that is lender of last resort. RBI provides financial accommodation to the commercial banks during emergencies to overcome temporary financial problems. Whenever commercial banks and other banks are facing the financial crisis or else the financial problems, immediately RBI is coming forward and providing financial accommodation, financial platform to those banks which are literally facing the emergencies or else crisis and solving the problems at that particular banks on temporary basis. With this, I think let us stop today's discussion. I hope everyone understood. This is most important topic, my dear students. You watch this video repeatedly, and most important contingent question in the coming examinations. Okay. With this, let us stop today's discussion. Thank you very much.